Miami's fashion history is brimming with rich culture, industry powerhouses and fashion superstars.
And Miami used to have a big manufacturing industry here back in the 70s through the 80s.
History-wise, like I said, Miami is really interesting. There used to be a huge production hub here.
From Miami Vice to the era of Versace, Miami's unique flair has influenced international style for decades.
Miami's inspiration to me, I think, is like, it's like the floral prints. It's a tropical place.
In Miami, I think that if you're in South Beach, clothing gets smaller.
My love of fashion was sparked watching the icons of Hollywood's golden age, but it was the Magic City that launched my career as a fashion designer. Today, a new generation of fashion students are starting their journeys towards a successful career in this competitive industry.
If you put your mind to it, you can be a fashion designer.
I am Rene Ruiz, Miami fashion designer and a member of the board of advisors here at the Miami Fashion Institute. For the next 30 minutes, I tell you how I got started and the story of some of these young dreamers. Welcome to Fashion Forward.
Well, I just love that you can pretty much be creative with it. What I really like is just making things that nobody's ever seen before, and challenging these traditions of fashion instead of making something that's everybody's seen before. Make something that is completely revolutionary and innovative.
It's silly, but I had my boss that I was working with at the time. He told me, well, what do you want to study? And I was like, well, I'm not sure. And he goes, why don't you do fashion design? And I said, well, I'm not sure I'm creative enough or good enough to be a fashion designer. There's so much competition out there and such great artists. I'm not sure if I can do it. And he goes, well, you have to believe in yourself.
I started with fashion design basically in the 3rd grade when all of the students were drawing about their families. I was drawing silhouettes and clothes. So that's why I really wanted to be a fashion designer, is I wanted to create that same effect. I want to make a person feel great about themselves while using my talent.
If you graduate today and you want to go right into fashion, you have to find the right avenue for you to be included in the fashion industry in Miami. That's why I think it's very important to have internship programs and work with manufacturers and different fashion companies in the city.
This is an entrepreneurial company. I personally started in fashion world. That was always my passion in life. And my father had a factory here at one time making shirts off the Palmetto Expressway on Northwest 72nd Avenue. And Miami used to have a big manufacturing industry here back in the 70s through the 80s.
Oscar Feldenkrais and his father, George, they always been kind of like an inspiration and a mentor for young designers and people in the fashion industry that want to come to Miami and look at Miami as a place for fashion. It's one of the most important companies in Florida that have to do with fashion, and they have been in business for 50 years.
In the 1980s, for example, the industry was really booming in Miami. We had, especially in Hialeah, there were a lot of manufacturers. Miami was the 3rd largest industrial industry in the United States. You have New York, LA, and then it was Miami.
Something saying made in Miami was a very big deal. Is that something that you wanted to have? And then, of course, the economy changed and we wanted cheaper and faster, and so we went overseas, and that has its own issues, but that's what happened. That sort of killed the industry here. And now we have a resurgence. You have people that want to make in America, which is important, and of course, make locally.
A lot of manufacturing is coming back to Miami, which is like a great sign that the industry is keep going up. A lot of other designers are moving back here. Some manufacturers are moving. So we want to prepare students to be ready for when they graduate, so the manufacturers are able to hire people from here.
I developed a love for fashion in itself through retail position.
that I was promoted to. I started as a sales associate, and from there I was promoted to a fashion stylist. In that position, I learned about the fashion world. I learned how to work with people, how to help them develop their personal style.
We're creating students that could feed several areas in the industry, both in the factory, helping to sew, to make, to do pattern making, to production manager, the person that can be in the office dealing with marketing and all of that, the buying person who deals with either whether it's buying raw materials for making stuff or person who's buying for a boutique, trying to create students that when they leave here they feel empowered so they can go into that workforce.
The reason why I wanted to do merchandising is because I want to see the business aspect. Like, I want to be behind the scenes. I mean, it's great to be like, spotlight, just like the designers and everything like that. But I don't know, I just kind of want to be like, backstage, like where we make the magic happen in a way. I mean, they do create, the magic, but then we help them, bring it actually to life.
I'm not a professor, but I would like to be able to be a mentor to the students here at the Miami Fashion Institute so they will be able to take the opportunities they present for themselves in the future.
You're able to meet some influencers, so it's very hands-on and you get to see the real world while you're being in school and a student. So you get to meet a lot of people, and probably once you graduate, you can probably work with one of them. I
worked as an intern for a year, and I was not even getting paid. I just was working and learning and wanting to do it, and that was the only way that I was able to go on my own and create and build a business. If that's what you want to do and create a label. If you just want to design for a big company or you want to be a stylist, then you should follow in those directions. You should try to associate yourself with a big company like a Perry Ellis or other companies.
When I came in, we were doing about $8.5 million of revenues. I started developing brands or labels we can sell to other retailers or customers, and that's how basically we got started. And it was going from door to door, developing a business.
It's a challenging business, of course, but today we have a lot more opportunities than we had before. And also there's different ways of getting into the fashion business.
I love that anybody can come up with an idea and there's people here to help you and make that idea into reality. There's like nobody telling you, oh, this can't be made, this and that, and pushing down your ideas. But you're able to make your dreams into reality.
However, it's really just going with the process. So the challenge is every day. It's really just like capturing the voice and capturing the words, capturing the emotions. It's just really capturing what truly I want to evoke.
Learning and paying attention to others that have done it before you, and always finding different ways of doing it. Fashion Forward will be right back.
Start your story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. What's your story? Be MDC.
Well, one of the things that I think is important is when you're starting in a business and a career like fashion, that you need to learn so many little details and so many things that are part of what that final product. So you have to be humble, because the people that came before you, they know the craft. They know how to make the things happen. So you have to be humble and you have to learn from everyone. You have to learn from the lady that cuts the fabric. You have to learn from the person that sews the garment, because when we're young, we think we know it all. And unfortunately, we don't.
To be successful in the fashion industry, I think you just need lots of determination, motive, and just a strong voice in order to, get your creativity and your ideas out there, and, not being, able to back down, just be yourself, be free.
If you're trying to be, the next Gucci, the next, you want to open a house like Balmain, you'll face more challenges. I think for me personally, I kind of just want to do it maybe for the art almost. So I feel like a lot of times designers change the way they design or the way they do things so that they can please what the market wants. And whether that's good for a success, for a business, maybe it's not so good for the art. So maybe I want to just do art that whether you like it, you can buy it, and if you don't, that's fine.
I'm learning also that along with my intro to fashion design classes, there's a lot of business behind it. But I listen to music and interviews of musicians where they originally start off with just a drive and the passion for the music. But then once they reach the level of success, there's another learning curve. So really, it's really just, it's fashion right now, whatever that may mean, which I'm intending to define, and I think I have instances of clarity.
I think one of the things that you definitely need to succeed in fashion is that you have to be clear of your vision. You have to be passionate about what you do, but the clarity of what you want to do, and also finding the right customer, finding that person, finding your corner in the market is important. And once you have that clarity and that vision, it'll happen.
We have 2 programs here. Miami Fashion Institute has design and merchandising, and it's basically a creative hub for people that are interested in fashion design or apparel design on both sides, business and design.
The fashion merchandising or the students who are interested in the business of fashion. We should involve retail and selling and advertising and all that. And the other degree is fashion design. Those are the students who want to be fashion designers. In that program, they learn how to make patterns, how to sew, how to drape, and they also learn how textile.
Yes. People tend to think fashion design, and they see the designer. But the person who's really making money in that company is the person that's designing and actually creating the patterns that allows that garment to be reproduced 1,000 times. And so we stress those skills. We remind them, you're kind of teaching them the industry. You know it exists because you've been on that side of it, but on the inside is the pattern maker rules. And even here in South Florida, there's a few pattern makers, and they all work for various designers because there's such a high demand for someone that actually knows how to create a garment.
Well, I think it's about time that a local institution wants to be involved in the fashion industry. And that's the great thing that Miami brings to the table. Many of our employees here in Miami in our design department basically were educated in Miami, were trained here in Miami. We do an excellent job in training people and educating them, which is very important because at the end of the day, those are the people that understand your culture the best, is ensuring that you train them properly and you educate them so that they can grow with the same culture and have the same vision that the company has.
Some of the students would hopefully stay here in Miami and enjoy the city and help make it grow in the fashion industry, because that'd be one of my dreams, that someday Miami would really be a hub, not just for just the fashion shows, but also for the fashion industry when people can actually come and make stuff and have thousands of jobs of manufacturing again.
So far, I love how hands-on. In other schools that I've gone to, you kind of are for yourself, you're doing things on your own. You have to learn, you have to go, on YouTube, or you have to look at books to get the material that you need. But here in Miami Fashion Institute, they're very hands-on with you. The professors are right there with you, guiding you, giving criticism, very good constructive criticism that you apply to, and you know how to figure out, and you actually learn while you're studying here.
So the way that you collaborate with, along with designers, is basically learning how to, set their garments in a way that, present their garments in a way that grabs the outside attention or grabs people's attention, so that, we could be like the sellers of their garments. So I think that, we have that sense of collaboration there, that creative idea there.
There's a lot of homework that has to be done. But it's guidance, and it's guidance with some experience and some knowledge. But that's like with everything. I think I have to do, my homework. I have to do my research.
Honestly, it's like a dream come true in a way. I was at Dade before, just studying to study in a way, because my dream was to create something. I was also into photography as well. So, but fashion was my thing, and it was the craziest thing. I love walking here. I go up the 6th floor, people look at me in the elevator like, where's she going? Type thing. So it's kind of like you're at the top of I'm on the top of the world right now. So it's amazing. Every time I walk in here, it's scary, but it's a happy moment. It's my happy place,
Before you came here, you have no idea of how to cut a piece of fabric zero knowledge of fashion. But now you're much more exposed. And what I see in your designs, I can see that you're implementing some of these techniques.
Yeah.
But now being in a school like this, it's giving you exposure to a whole different world. I never thought that I was going to be anything else but a fashion designer, so I never did the merchandising part. But you learn that as you go along, because when you start your own business, then you have to wear many different hats. You have to be a little bit of a businessman, you have to be a merchandiser, you have to do the buying, you have to learn how to sell your product. It's a very broad spectrum of things that you have to do to be successful.
Well, the success of Perry Ellis is because of its great people that we have working here. And if you go around and you ask around, many of the employees, I would say as a minimum have been here 5, and many have been here 10, 15, 20 years. And that's what creates a great company. It's the ability to execute a strategy, it's the ability to execute a vision, and we have great people. The biggest asset that any company can have is ensure that it has people that have worked tirelessly hard, and many of us are immigrants that came here from nothing, and we built this company all together with a lot of hard work, and it has paid off for the company. And we love Miami, and we feel that Miami brings a lot of added value.
It's really, really amazing to have a fashion degree program where you're paying, $7,000. Most of the best schools, and even we have state school like FIT in New York, your education is going to cost maybe 5, 10 times that. We're able to give these kids something that's amazing, that's quality. Our instructors come from amazing companies. They've been in the industry for 40, sometimes 30 years, and they're all really passionate about sharing their knowledge and their passion with the students.
In the future, I think sportswear is something that I could do, but right now, being that I'm learning fashion, I'm interested in draping, I'm interested in the soft fabrics, just seeing how that works. It's really a study of the body, and that's where it really starts from. I mean, it's literally a relationship with the body.
Just being here and being around the students, it's kind of just natural to want to be a part of it. So I just had the crave to just be a part of it. And 2, of course I want to build my knowledge in the area. So yeah, I was like, why not? So I just got my documents rolling and I'm here.
But they are very, very creative, and then also determined. Some of them actually live in the lab. Like Vanessa always sometimes have to tell them, designers, time to leave, because they actually want to stay there and work. But they have amazing ideas. I mean, some of the things you will see, taking an old shirt and turning it to a dress is really amazing. A lot of them were amazing stuff they had done.
We're creating a workforce. They would know how to put things together, how to actually be familiar with the craft of making clothes.
It is a very, very challenging industry. And a lot of people think it's a joke.
Fashion Forward will be right back.
Start your story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. Be bold. Be connected. Be the solution. Be ready. What's your story? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Place I aspire to go would be Paris. I inspire those places because it just has so much history behind it. And I just like to experiment that history and go and use the architecture for inspiration.
1988, that was my first trip to Paris, and it was just an incredible experience for being, a fashion student, meeting all the fashion students in Paris, going to a couture fashion show. It was just like a dream come true.
Well, I wouldn't mind. I love Miami, so I wouldn't mind staying here as long as people, here kind of, they're open to what I make. But I think where I would like to go is London, although it's a bit conservative when it comes to menswear as well. But I think people are okay with wearing things as long as they're familiar with it.
I want to be my own boss. I want to take all the tools that are provided here to help me build myself and build my knowledge, build my character and my experience, and take all those things and just succeed from there. I want to be my own boss. I want to have my own brand. I have business ideas too, so I definitely want to take the tools that I'm giving now to develop.
Be strong-willed and be positive. Don't give up. Just keep pushing because it is a very, very challenging industry. And a lot of people think it's a joke. We had to design the shirt you're wearing, the pants you're wearing, even though it's just a white tee and, jeans. Someone had to design that. It's no joke. It's something that no one should question and no one should put down in what someone's passionate about.
To be successful in the fashion industry, I think you just need lots of determination, motive, and just a strong voice in order to, get your creativity and your ideas out there, and, not being, able to back down, just be yourself, be free.
They just design fashion houses that are going to be needing the kind of talent that hopefully we are going to be creating here. So New York is always a city that welcomes the fashion industry, and the students will be able to design for big companies, get experience, and hopefully come back to Miami and make it all happen in Miami. I want everyone here.
What it takes to succeed right now, for me, there's persistence, consistency, constancy, listening.
Whoever, decided to actually create this in Miami-Dade, it's crazy. So, I didn't have to, go to New York or anything like that.
I believe that moment that says, oh my God, I made it, is when someone goes up to me and be like, you know what, you changed my life.
Well, I think, MFI has been, it overexceeded my expectations, because when I came here the first semester, I didn't know anything. I couldn't sew anything. I couldn't even sketch. So, it's been almost like a transition, but I remember that even I think my first class of sewing, it was like they gave me something and they were like, you need to do this, this and that. And my professor was right next to me the whole time, making sure I did it right, whether I knew how to thread the machine and such. But I got it, and it was I remember that just a few weeks after that, I was making skirts and dresses. you know? So I felt pretty happy. I felt proud that I could ever get to do that. I didn't think I could.
And here, it's happening. For the designer, it's about being a strong designer and knowing what your vision is and letting the people that love your vision come to you. And on the retail side, it's about finding out who that customer is and making sure that they get what they want from you.
So we do have a lot of pressure on us because we're the ones getting it out there. I think we have more pressure on us than them. So I feel like it's a little bit more challenging because, you know, yeah, everything's done. They have the design, we have it. So it's up to us to get it out there into stores.
You know, the group of students who are going to graduate next semester, they will be interning with company. And then what we hope is the student get an internship and hopefully they get the opportunity to stay there. And sometimes usually what the company does, they usually hire. The hope is for them to be hired after the internship.
And having local institutions that are dedicated to that, hopefully we can have a community that flourishes in the fashion industry. And it doesn't have to be New York City, and it doesn't have to be Los Angeles, but it can also be Miami.
Well, I think Miami already is becoming a fashion hub because we have events like Miami Fashion Week. For the first time, we've been part of the calendar of the CFDA, and that's a very important step. And for our city, as a fashion mecca, it's going to bring designers from all over Latin America and from all over the world. Eventually, it would just not be about Latin designers. Eventually, we hope that it's going to be designers from New York, designers from California, and designers from Europe, which they're already here, showing that Miami is the next place to be.
Fashion is everywhere. And it doesn't have to be necessarily in New York, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in Los Angeles. Fashion is like a seed. Wherever you plant it, it grows, and there's no reason for Miami not to have that as well.
Develop my love for fashion. And then working here, the students, they're awesome. Everyone's just willing to help here.
Just use, you know, your life struggles or difficulties to your advantage. Don't let anything stop you, and that's why I'm here.
No, I think I kind of say that MFI is the future, and Miami will be the future for the fashion industry.
So for me, I just want them to know that they can go anywhere and be anything they want to. If this ends up not being their passion in life, at least they have a skill. And they should never go hungry. As my grandma would say, you can't go hungry when you know how to make stuff, right?
It's very important to be able to share my knowledge of all these years with the students, because not only because I love Miami, and Miami's been a very generous city, but also because of my legacy. And I would like to be able to make sure that Miami gets to the place that it deserves to be in the fashion business.